Hi guys, how you going? Campbell here from Autodidactic Channel. Hope you are all having an amazing day. And today I wanted to have a look at this building in front of us, which is called, they say it's now a hotel, and it was the Tajara Fort, and they say it was an abandoned fort. And as you can see here, this is it, just looking at it. You know, lots of features straight away, obviously pop straight out at us. And especially this mound at the back, which we are starting to see everywhere now, with buildings popping out the top. And of course the whole thing is on a mountain or a big hill, mud flooded. We've got two stories here, 3 stories here. Got these arches and this keystone sort of shape. The whole thing, this is an old world building, and yeah, so let's get in and have a look at Tajara Fort. And it says here, the Tajara Fort Palace is uneven, broken, and yet still somehow evokes a sense of reverence. The 19th century ruins remained in disrepair for over 100 years. Today, a near high-end weekend getaway for the torrent of New Delhi. The conversion of the Tajara Fort from a deserted palace into a luxury destination has been nothing short of spectacular. So here's a few pics of it. So this is one of the main buildings popping up, and again, they say that this is an abandoned fort that was never finished and just stood there for 100 years. With this, big 4-story buildings, we've got this, and we've got the arches. This is looking like, I don't know, a Greco-Roman bathhouse, something. And just, this art, obviously, that's actually a good shot, because you can see the old world, the intricacy, all the domes, all the arches, and this thing on the top here. They haven't done a very good job, have they? That's a clear facade, so I'm not sure of what was under that, but just, a good shot of the new sort of fake facade painted over the old world there. Just look at that room, look at the arches there. Here's another shot. Of course, we've got this round tower on the edge, which could be water towers. You can see this is all being changed and filled in. This was open at one point, very Moorish looking. Another dome here, of course. And yet these are the bedrooms, so this is inside. Just look at that work for that room. That's ridiculous. And this is what they were doing. And this is, what they say that was abandoned for 100 years too. So keep in mind, what good condition this is. They admit it was sitting there for 100 years. So as we all talk about, how old are these buildings? How long were they sitting there? Because this one, 100 years, not a problem. And even along the bottom here, see all these garlands? Just so much detail over everything. Just another shot. This is inside. Again, just showing how very Moorish this building is. Or this fort again. Oh my gosh, and look how thick the walls are. Of course, up in the roof we've got some domes and things happening. Pillars. It's unfortunate, isn't it? They haven't done a very good job of it looks a bit sort of gaudy, all their retrofitting. It's not very stylish, really, is it? And this man is spinning a bicycle wheel on his head while holding a spoonful of fire. Because you do. Another shot. Look how big this place is, right? It's ridiculous. Just ridiculous. So a little bit about Tijarra. It is located in Rajasthan in India. And Tijarra is a city and a municipality in Alwar district of the Indian state of Rajasthan. Tijarra comes under the NCR area and is 48 kilometres to the northeast of Alwar. and a bit more. So what we want, of course, is the history. And so a little bit about the history again. It's just sketchy. There's just really nothing here. A few sort of names and stories, they sort of tie to the region. There's nothing to mention the building of it. You know, again, who built it, where the plans, where all the money and everything came from. Doesn't even go there. And basically, it just talks about a few people. There's this Sultan Mahmud of Ghazni. And there was a big battle, and they ended up winning. And it just says they stayed in the region. It doesn't really talk about building huge forts, huge star cities and things. And yeah, there's nothing there at all about the construction. So that's very strange. And then we come down here, and it says Jain Temple, discovered the idol of Sharava Shukan, 1956. The image bears the date of 1554. So this fort, you know, that's something next to it that was around for. So they're not even really giving us a date. That last article said 19th century, but it's just the same as everything else, guys. There's nothing there to do with history. All right, so let's have a look at a few pics of this place. This looks, is that scaffolding? This may be when they were turning it into a hotel. You can see very, very old. And just, you know, the same thing, just built into the mountain. This one, connecting, you know, just straight in. 2 stories, just drops down to 3 stories. You know, they're not building on foundations. They're not building on a level ground. It's very, very strange. Here's another shot. This is obviously the very top, the citadel, and this is a star. This is a star city. You can see here we've got round turrets, we've got the walls, and a big building just sort of popping up out of the top of this hill. Again, this is what we find here. This is, we've got the 4 domes here, so 1, 2, 3, there'll be one on the other side, and the dome in the middle. So this configuration that is starting to pop up everywhere is here. And of course, look at this Antiquitech. Have a look at this roof here. And all this Antiquitech. This actually looks a bit like the top of the building in Thailand, where it's actually still sparking. You can see the energy coming off it. But yeah, look at that architecture. I mean, wow, very Moorish. Look at these sills or whatever they are. Haven't seen that before. Sort of going across, joining up to the domes. I mean, so that looking, you know, very low as well. Looks like there should be a lot more underneath this. Nice big mountain in the background, but I mean, wow, that's a pretty cool building, eh? Again, this is really just to show you, I mean, it's very Moorish. Brick. It's all brick, of course. And I mean, look at the levels here. I mean, obviously they're saying it was abandoned for a while, but it should still be level. This is a bit more Antiquitech. But look at the top of this. How much Antiquitech can you get on, you know, one dome? And here's another panorama shot, just so you can see the actual size of this place. Pretty ridiculous. You know, the story that it was built. The story is that it was built by a prince for one of his mistresses. And I mean, seriously, you know, we get a lot of stories like this, don't we? That, you know, these princes and kings and sultans and things build these huge old world buildings for, you know, their wives who die or their mistresses, and that's the only explanation we get. They just sort of pop up, and these are huge, massive constructions. But yeah, it's just sort of the story is, oh, they just built it, you know, he lost his wife or his mistress or whatever, he loved her so much. And of course, with enough time and money, you can do anything, right? Don't need the skills. So yeah, this place is a star. I'll try and show this. You can see a bit down in the corner there. Okay, so here is Tajara Fort Palace on Google Earth. As you can see, just sort of popping up on a hill in the middle of, this is obviously farmlands. Let's go in, let's hope the resolution gets a bit better here. It's a little bit fuzzy, isn't it? But you still can see here, look, see these edge bits, the round turrets? We see round turrets quite a bit on these stars, these star cities. There's more here. And I mean, just look at this classic, you know, the layout of the geometry as well. The big boulevard, we've got the water down there. This is probably an arch. And heading down straight to the main building, which is normally, you know, an obelisk or a domed building, something that's, I think, is, you know, creating or generating or at least sucking out the energy that it's collecting. And you can just see the front here. See how these jut out? How Star Fort is that. And I mean, here's a perfect citadel, but unfortunately, like I said, this is not the best resolution, which is another interesting question. You know, we see this on Google all the time, and they try and tell us that all these shots are from satellites. But if that's true, and all the satellites are the same distance away from the Earth, then how come sometimes we can zoom in and get crystal clear image at the street level, but here, this is all we get? I would like to show you more, but there's not photos about this. You can see it's on a huge hill, and if we go in, you can see, you know, you can see these lines of the lower levels that have been buried. Still in the ground. So that's it from Google Earth, the Tajara Fort Palace. And here's just a few pics to finish off. And this is inside one of the main buildings, huge courtyard, and as you can see, there's a whole nother level down underneath as well. You know, just these arched, what are they, like verandas or something? This may be, I've got another picture, but this top bit may be retrofitted. So I'll have a look. And of course, just all these arches, very Moorish down here. And these you can see have been filled in at some stage and turned into doors. Here's a shot. Now this is during the, you know, the renovations, the renovating, and that's basically the same shot as what we were just looking at. And you can see they've just gone in and squared off all these doorways, filled in things, covered it all over. And I'm not sure, that looks like it probably is part of the main original building. Now this is just to show you, this was Antiquitech. Got another shot of this obelisk later, but you can see the wires are still there connecting things, and it's connecting to this. Now why is it connecting to that? A big sort of dome thing, big spire Antiquitech on the top. Here as well, here we have that stacking again, and of course just all this ornate. And you know, again, what does all this mean? Because when you look at this, you can see this is the same size as this, and this is the same size as this, and they're smaller than these on the outside. And then this is completely different and jutted out, and this looks like it's the perspective, I don't know, but it looks like it's right in front of this dome. So this all means something. I'm just wondering if, you know, the old people from the old world could probably walk up and just look at this and just read and just know what this was. But we can't anymore, so that's what the chase is. That's what we're trying to figure out. And here's another shot just to show you, yeah, where it is, how it's perched upon this, you know, what we're told is a mountain or hill. So again, this is part of more construction, you know, that's been vaporized. And, you know, we know that, you know, the trend seems to be that they keep building on the same spots. Temples are always built, you know, on the ruins of other temples. So, yeah, was this bottom bit ruined and this built on top, or was this part of what was there already and this has been, just the bottom's been melted somehow? You know, there's many questions. And in the background, of course, we have this just jutting up out of nowhere, out of this big flat plain. You know, so what really is all this stuff? Is that natural, or is that, you know, part of what we see underneath this construction? This is a shot obviously when they were doing some renovating, cleaning it all up. As you can see, this is all stone or brick probably, and they just go along and cover it all over. They change the look of the windows. You can see they've filled this in. No doubt they've done the same here and just covered the whole lot up. And as we get down, we get this same phenomena of, the buildings just kind of meld into the bedrock. And there's no level here. They just sort of become the bottom rock. Very interesting phenomena, that one. Here's the obelisk tower, free energy, got a ball on top there and a little aerial, and yeah, it's connected up over here with wires. Here's a shot, yeah, so this is obviously pre-renovation and post, so this is what used to be there, and as you can see, it was just all overgrown, covered up with these 2 bits sticking out the top, and so they've gone and uncovered it, turned it into a hotel. Here again, this shot I just found interesting because, I mean, how, Greco-Roman does it look from here? Especially this, steps going up, flat, and, all these columns. And look at the terracing, just steps everywhere. And, a bit of domage out the back here. I'm not sure what this is, if it's natural. It's not the best resolution again, but I don't know, that could be something that was melted. And another shot, pre and post renovating. So as you can see here, again, we've got the brick and it's all been covered up here. All these have been squared off into boxes. Left brain, put you in a box because I don't like this right brain creativeness. And this is how it used to look. So you can see it was pretty much all there, pretty solid structure. And they've really just gone in and cleaned it up and put roofs on the top here. So it looks like they may have replaced the domes here as well. And then again, this level, look at this level, how it's just sort of buried or, I don't know, stuck to the bedrock somehow, and this is all flowed over. Definitely not the story we are given. Yeah, so see here, this now it's got a dome on it, so it's not the, it's not the best dome, it's just a little one, but so they have been re-roofed, and we see this a lot of these old buildings. They seem to have all, been derelict like this, and people just come and clean them up and re-roof them and claim them as their own. Here's all this antiquity again. How cool is that? And yeah, just the old world walls going down into the bedrock. So there we go, guys. Questioning again, just all the old world buildings and architecture that we find all over the place, and the stories we're given of what, of how they were built and when, they just don't add up. And of course, there's a huge lack of any kind of construction, plans, schematics, even names of architects and things. Of course, nothing mentioned about where all the tradesmen and all the materials came from, but they just can build things like this. And of course, this is just popping up out of the ground. This was actually marked as the Tajara Fort as well. So I did find one old picture, but that's it. It was already there, completed and buried. So thanks for spending some time with me, guys. Remember, his story is not our story. And this is what we do here on Autodidactic and other channels. We are trying to rediscover what our story is. And if this is your first time on the channel, this is what we look into, is old history, because history is his story. It's not our story. It's been rewritten and it doesn't make sense. So we're trying to put it all back together and work out what really did happen in the past. So check out my other videos. Please share them around if you like this topic and find it interesting. Please like, subscribe, and share, of course. And thank you to everyone who supports me on this channel, in whatever way you can. Thank you to all my Patreons, my PayPal supporters, people who are purchasing merchandise from my store. The links for all those are below if you want to support this channel. And also, obviously, a big thanks to everyone who watches my videos, shares, likes, comments, because that does help in a big way to get this information out there. So love you all, have a splendid day, and I'll talk to you all on the next upload. Bye for now.